Virgo, welcome to your reading. So to see whether you want to stay around, I'll just talk you through what we can see going on here. I've laid the cards already. It's really interesting. It's like you're in a kind of discussion with yourself moving forward, whether you're going to be open to life or not, whether you're going to be a bit more defensive. And it's something to do with health or a new opportunity at the basis of the reading. And it's sort of how you deal with that, how you grow that, I think. Deeply intuitive reading with quite a lot of pentacle energy and some really lovely cards. It's very interesting. It's got really interesting energy. I've got the sun coming up. I wonder whether if I point like that, it doesn't really do it anymore. It used to. Is it that what used to happen? I know, if I turn my head, let's have a look. The sun's coming up and it's so gorgeous. And I'm hoping that, and I have to project my voice a bit, but I hope that you see that sun. Anyway, we'll see when the video comes out. I was reading about, or seeing about pineal glands being activated by the sun coming up, and I was thinking, I really want to be looking at the sun every morning. I don't know if you relate to that. It's the best time of day. Anyway, you are turning up as the High Priestess. So, deeply intuitive, very connected, super wise. There's a great status internally that I'm seeing. I'm looking at all the green behind her, and I've never really looked at that. It's the green behind the pomegranates being fertility, and the green, it feels like a sort of lush forest of fertile wisdom. And I think that is who you are. I think that you have quite a sort of old soul, and you've got your new moon at your feet, indicating that you really understand the cycles of the moon, but also because it's the new moon today, I'm seeing it as a new start. You're good at sort of restarting things. What else is jumping out at her, at me? Oh, the blue behind and the sea. So behind those two pillars, where you can see a strip of green land, and I'm also looking at all that green, and the black and the white pillar, indicating the fact that you can see all sides to a problem or a situation. You can meld all realities, and a fair, wise perspective. That's who you are inside. All phases of the moon represented. It's a really beautiful energy. It's a really lovely person that I'm talking to. It's gorgeous. I'm feeling, and all the green. Yeah, it's like a very fertile for you. Your intuition is a very fertile spot for you. It's something that you should concentrate on. How this makes you want to act in the outside world, because I think it's probably a permanent state for you, this intuition, but maybe it's very online at the moment, is it's making you feel very inspired. You're looking at the tip of your wand with the Page of the Wands, thinking about all the things that excite you. His little red tights, and these three pyramids, which we see in the Queen of Wands as well, but so they're in the same landscape, but here he's in a slightly different orientation because they're to her left and behind, if I'm remembering it correctly. Here he's in a different part of the landscape, but this very inspired ancient landscape, pyramids, what does that mean to you? Are you interested in ancient archaeology like I am? Or there's a really good documentary by Freddie Silver that's just come out called Megaliths. I think you have to buy it, but it'll be on Gaia soon. Anyway, so that sense of being very, very excited, and interestingly, he's looking at all the green shoots. I'm looking at the green shoots on his staff, on his wand. Thinking about growth, being very excited, the intuition allowing you to see opportunities everywhere. It could be a little bit overwhelming, to be honest, how exciting it could be. But it's a lovely, youthful energy, and maybe under her guidance, it's not going to get too chaotic, because he can get a bit chaotic, the Page of Wands. Pages are messages, so it feels like lots of passionate messages coming to you. Now, basis of the reading, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. This is the card for health, for pregnancy, for brilliantly real, practical new starts in the world, something that you're going to need to nurture and bring to fruition. I don't know if you can see in the background, we've got one of those arches here. I'm just going to do this. I don't normally do this, but you can see there's another one there with roses on it and another one there with roses on it. So lovely. And that one's just coming out as well. So I always think of the Ace of Pentacles when I see this garden, because you've got that arch bringing you through to new heights that you can reach, new challenges of those mountains, but the path clearly laid for you. It's a good direction for you to go in, and a divine offering. It also makes me think of the Secret Garden, this card, particularly in relation to health and mental health and physical health, because I don't know if you've read that book by Frances Hodgson Burnett or seen one of the films, but I'd recommend reading the book. I read it because a friend of mine was asked to rewrite it in a kind of more PC way, and she declined. And so we were discussing it over a weekend, and I went and picked up a copy in the V&A in London, and it was rather a lovely way to read it, actually. I was sat at a table in the library there and read an old version of it. And I think the issue that the publishers who were wanting to reissue it had was that there's two children in this book, and I need to not do any spoilers, but you start with the main protagonist, who's this little girl who's been brought up in the colonies in India, and so it's around the turn of the century, but she's incredibly spoilt and dreadful. However, she's also very, very neglected. I don't know why I'm telling you this story, so I hope it's relevant to someone. So it's those neglected sides of ourselves that start kicking out. And I think the publisher's issue was the way that she talked, obviously, to the servants that were employed by her family, this lordy, dreadful, some of the language. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it could be, but what I was curious about was that the writer clearly was pointing out how bratty this child was, and the journey of her and another young child is to find this secret garden, in very long journey, which heals them physically and psychologically. And I didn't feel in any way that the writer was upholding this kind of behaviour or language or attitude. But anyway, it's interesting, isn't it? So that's making me think of this when I look at your card here today, the Secret Garden. Although it's a very open vista, whereas the Secret Garden is a walled garden. But kind of opening out your life, there's a that's your quest at the moment, to heal something, to expand something, to nurture something in your realm. It could be a pregnancy. Sorry, Virgo. So I'm slicing this together because, as I said, it could be a pregnancy, to be honest. My phone said it was full. So I've just had to fiddle around a bit, but I've just rewatched it, so I'm still in the moment. So this opening, expansion, pregnancy, perhaps something you need to nurture, opportunity that's being offered to you, and are you going to take it, I guess? In the recent past, we've got this interesting energy of the Five of Swords and the Three of Cups. So the first thing that jumped into my mind is, has there been some sort of fight, altercation within your community, with your friends? Are you feeling out of step with your friends? Do you feel disempowered energetically around them somehow? It's almost like there could be people you really love, but somehow there's something, the balance of energy isn't right. The kind of whoever wins, and also, why is there competition in a relationship that's so healthy, and why is there fighting? This is sort of strange, the suit of Mars being brought into this lovely three of celebration and community, female friendships or friendships and community. It's strange. It's just a stage, because we can see the two lines indicating that Pamela Coleman Smith drew this as a stage. Oh, by the way, when the video went off, there was an amazing barking. He's going into the distance now. Deer. He must have just emerged out there somewhere by tree line, really barking. So it was strange. Maybe it's a pregnancy. Boom, the phone went off, and then the barking. Dear, I don't know. What's that about? Maybe it was saying there is someone who really wants to get pregnant. I'm now looking at a little furry caterpillar, no doubt something that would sting me, that could emerge. But I'm thinking caterpillar, butterflies. Anyway, so recently there's been an altercation around community. It was just a stage. It doesn't feel good, whichever side you're on, of the winning or losing. The green tunic is standing out to me. His pixie ears and his green tunic and that kind of barren grey land. It's almost like a port in Scotland or in... I mean, Scotland's so beautiful, don't get me wrong, but, you know, like a kind of quite an outer Hebrides, or outer reach of a land that this fight with the community has gone on. And what's standing out to me, though, well, there's 2 yellow tunics in the Five of Swords, 1 yellow tunic here, no green tunics. I don't know. It's as if true nature has been offended somehow by your community. I don't know. I can't quite get that. Well, a fight with your community. It's not unusual to be out of step with one's community, but it's just such a pity. Maybe it's a fight that affects your community rather than with your community, because I just took the first intuitive hit. It could be something that's going on that affects the people that you love, the people, yeah, something like that could also be true. So, coming up as your potential outcome, this actually came up in the reverse, but it's the Hangman. And I'm going to read it as it stands, because I'm not really reading reversals anyway. I don't think it's relevant in this reading. I'm mentioning it just in case at some point it seems relevant. So the Hangman gaining perspective. Look at that beautiful sun behind his head. It's interesting, this idea of the pineal gland being activated by that sun, and that then he has the sun behind his head. So because he's Odin hanging from a tree, gaining enlightenment and wisdom. And so I think that's what you might learn, and, you know, of course, informed by your inner 2 of the High Priestess, it would be great wisdom. And it might relate to this altercation. It might relate, really, I think what's going to relate is this new start. So it might be that as a potential outcome, you have a bit of a pause after this altercation and before something lovely that's coming up now, and you feel quite enlightened by the whole thing. I think there's a sense of understanding, that innate wisdom. But also it does represent a perspective shift, the Hangman, that you have to change your perspective. That's what you're being asked to do. That purple background, very plain, nothing interrupting your thought process. So you might change your perspective to a better one, basically. Coming up in the near future, this is wonderful. 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles. I mean, abundance on abundance. 6 of Pentacles means reciprocity, fairness. It's lovely to see after this, whatever this altercation of the 5 of Swords is, it's fairness and reciprocity, meaning it's sharing fairly but not leaving yourself with less than you need. And the 10 of Pentacles, I mean, it sort of foreshadows where that Ace of Pentacles is growing up into. So I don't know whether this is a super fast growth of your consciousness, or it's something physical, the Ace of Pentacles. So no. So maybe there is a sort of moment of real health, something. It's really lovely and abundant. I mean, basically it's generational wealth with the 10 of Pentacles, and it being fairly shared, which I really love to see. That's amazing. So let's see what's popping out. And I wonder whether it could be that what this ace, this health, comes quickly this growth. I mean, usually it would take some time, but it feels almost as if the growth is expedited, that there's something that in your deep wisdom and your perspective change, you're able to embrace this new start. Again, all the green I'm looking at on the old guy's chair, who I always see a bit like a version of the King of Pentacles, but he's the grandfather. So the green that we saw behind, so his wisdom helping lead to this great growth, this harmony of this family, generational wealth, really dense, beautiful. Look at all the symbols on his coat. That's what's really attracting me. They're almost like glyphs and a hidden language. And the grapes. Yeah, these bits next to the dog on his coat, they look like something that you might see in one of those aerial photographs, looking down on South American landscapes where they have those, they've discovered through LiDAR and maybe dry periods and aerial photography, markings that the ancient people would have put into the earth as if they were trying to communicate with aircraft from the space aircraft or something, or we're not sure, but they were meant to be read from the stars, so communicating with that world. So it's a really beautiful and slightly sort of, it's disconcerting to me because it's almost like the end of the story. Whoa, we want to see that, but it's coming up in the near future. And I hope that you can grasp it, because it feels as if it's a sort of accelerated 1 to 10, and the 10 obviously collapses into the 1. There's some fast acceleration of health, knowledge, something, knowledge on how to grow something and grow it fairly. In the reciprocity card and the 6 of Pentacles, it's a stage. I always see that funny little label. It looks like a kind of Levi's jeans label or something on the blue cloak. Coins being poured into the beggar's hands. Only 5, so he keeps back enough for himself. Fairness. Right, well that's lovely. Something nice to look forward to. Oh yeah, Virgo and Sun people. If I do one of those little kind of, yeah, I'll probably put, because obviously we're looking at the Sun so much, and I'd already thought about that when I came down today. So Virgo and Sun, and in fact, the Sun turns up for you soon. In your attitude, 2 9s and the major 6 of the Lovers. So we've got the 6 of the reciprocity in the Pentacles. So the 6 of the Lovers indicates a choice and a partnership, but are you going to take this choice? And this is where I think this is about you deciding how to relate to this, because it's a wonderful opportunity, we can see that. But so you're being offered this choice that I think represents fairness, because we've got the 6 of Pentacles just before reciprocity, fairness, balance. And then, but then you turn up as the 9, the first of our 2 9s here. This is your attitude of the wounded healer. Like, well, yeah, you would be a healer because you've got the internal 2 of the High Priestess. So there is something deeply, deeply wise, and that wisdom is probably largely won through pain and discomfort in life, because that's how it goes, isn't it? So it doesn't just come out of thin air. Often we're at our wisest with our relationship to other people and life through our experiences. But this is you feeling defended, as well as being the wounded healer, very defended, a little bit jumpy. So when this choice is offered to you, and it could well be this, I think it is this, whatever this is. It, do you want to get pregnant? Do you want to take a journey of health? Do you want to grow something money-wise, invest something? When it's offered to you, the first feeling, and it's a stage card, those 2 lines, is of defensiveness. And a feeling of, I don't know, I think I'd quite like to stay alone in my beautiful garden. I mean, look, we've got so much wealth here. I don't know whether you are just doing something that's going to be incredibly lucrative, because the Nine of Pentacles is also a lovely card of wealth and stability. It's also of a single person who has grown through their great skill in their whatever it is that they do, this beautiful garden. She's tamed the falcon, again her intuition on her hand. She's got the snail at the bases. She can calm her pace right down. She's in her beautiful garden. She feels very, very resplendent, but also very, she's not lonely, she's just not relying on anyone. So those two nines, the 9 being the moon, the emotion of the situation, I think, makes you maybe, when offered this choice of partnership with something in the world, again, we've got the sun above the angel, this kind of sunny optimism. We've got the sun behind the man's head, got the sun coming up in the next position. It's not that you say no, but I think that you might consider staying behind that fence in your 9 of Pentacles space. I'm not sure that you are sure whether or not you're ready to enter back into your community somehow, enter back into partnership with something in life, this new start that you're being offered. Is it health? Are you prepared to partner with health? Is it a person coming to you lovingly and saying, you look amazing, High Priestess, you want to hang out? And you're like, not so sure. It's that kind of energy. I mean, it's also really beautiful and sunny in the 9 of Pentacles. I'm looking at the red hood on the top of the falcon's head. There's that. Can you hear that stag? I've left the microphone off this morning because I really want to be able to hear all the birds. I had this very good microphone, but it's taking out too much of this beautiful bird song, which has dampened a bit because dawn has happened, but it's lovely to me. Oh, and all the cockerels have stopped. Normally they carry on for quite a while. Yeah, so a little bit alarmed by this offer, perhaps, really aware of your own strength. The High Priestess is also quite a sort of singular character, you know, knowing you can rely on yourself very well, but not feeling quite so sure when you take that wisdom out into society, knowing that you can rely on your 9 of Pentacles really well, but do you want to get involved with community or another person? You're not sure. His yellow belt in the 9 of Wands is standing out. And he's defending a green landscape. But as I said, it's a stage, so it's not something that's going to last, those two lines. Maybe he's defending her garden. You know, that's interesting. Maybe there's a sense of, I need to defend what it is that I'm so good at, my High Priestess, my 9 of Pentacles, where I'm most resplendent. That's when I feel most myself. I want to stay in that space. I'm not sure I want to take this offer. I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty tempting. It's partnership in the world in a really lovely way. That, I feel, is your attitude. But it's very dense, rich, fertile attitude. I can't explain it. That's how I feel when I look at those cards. It feels as if you can work through this, it's going to take you somewhere really good. So, your environment, the sun. I mean, here we go, Sun and Virgo people. It's a beautiful time. It's fully optimistic. There's a lot of outward-facing optimisticness being offered to you, and it feels a bit like that pentacle, doesn't it? There's so much growth to be had. There's so much delight and optimism, and the white horse wall, you know, this kid riding away from the wall of past hurts. This is where you find yourself. It's like you've sort of woken up and looked around after this little altercation in your community, or aimed at your community. And, you know, especially with the 6 and the 10 of Pentacles, I think it is a really good time for you. I think it's a really good time for you. Your environment is very sunny, optimistic, ready to have good things happen in it. are you going to step in and fully partner with that energy? How it's lovely. You must be enjoying it. I can't believe you wouldn't. Must be a lovely home you live in, or a lovely working place, or your consciousness that's kind of pulling this environment to you. It's really beautiful. What stands out? The staff that he holds the red flag with. So this sort of wandy energy, yeah, that is going straight back to his staff. So this outer attitude of enthusiasm that comes from your inner wisdom is starting to sort of really turn into something kind of amazing. If you can follow those enthusiasms, it ends up as the sun with this passionate red flag, something that you're prepared to show to the whole world. It's really beautiful. And in your hopes and fears, you hope that you can juggle your resplendence, your inner high priestess, all her wisdom, and your Nine of Pentacles, that beautiful, realised, wise, rich, wealthy, well looked after, intuitive again woman who has mastered her craft. You hope you can balance it and take on this new opportunity. I do genuinely think that's what this card is saying. Can you cope with both things? Can you mix them in? Can you remain as resplendent and as amazing and as wise as you are, and then take this offer? This offer of this new Ace of Pentacles. Can you be healthy or grow something new as well with it, and still kind of maintain? And it won't, you hope it won't be too much to mix those two things together. And where it's all going, so we had the Hangman as the potential outcome when we saw you with what's just happened, what's coming up, your inner being, your outer attitude, and the basis of the reading was this perspective change, this dramatic ability to see things in a new light that might cost you something. I mean, interestingly, we say that, sorry, I'm skipping back to the potential outcome. We say that the Odin has to lose a coin from his pocket. So what I'm looking at in a line is this: Odin, the High Priestess, and the Page of Pentacles, and then the coin almost perfectly falling out of his pocket. So it's almost like the price you have to pay is to grasp this new opportunity, literally grasp this and grow and nurture this new opportunity. And once we add in your attitude, you're sort of, oh, but I'm so wonderful on my own. Should I take this offer? I feel like the wounded healer. But gosh, it feels an optimistic time. I want to meld both of those things in together. Your perspective change turns into action. And we have the Knight of Cups. You start to act with love, from that position of the lovers, bringing your wisdom and your enthusiasm out into the world. And also sort of slightly reminds me of my boyfriend and I were out in the woods. There's sort of a wild bit behind us outside of the garden. The garden feels quite wild as well, and we were planting a wild plum tree yesterday that somebody had given us, that was surplus to this garden. So the man that owns this garden had an extra one, our friend, and he said, why don't you plant it in the world? But also looking after, my boyfriend was bringing cups of water or buckets of water to look after some agave plants and a fig tree that he's planted out there as well. So it's that kind of thing. It feels as if in the end, where you end up is, yes, I'm going to water that pentacle. I am going to bring my cup of love. I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to pour the water onto this to grow it. I'm going to give it what it needs. I'm going to give it all the help it needs until it takes root and it can really establish itself in its environment and grow into something big. So you've decided from your epiphany of the Hangman to take action. It's beautiful. And what's standing out? How blue everything is. I mean, you're in the environment of that Ace of Pentacles. He's crossing the river. He might have just filled up in that river, and he's going towards your pentacle. I think it's lovely. Let's cap this. I've got a few extra cards. I mean, I'm aware of my storage, but I've just deleted a load of things off the phone, so hopefully it'll be fine for a while. I've got lots of extra cards, so let's see if we've got any comment on this beautiful reading for Sun and Virgo people. Yeah, judgment. From your epiphany, there's a waking up moment. This is the Lua Tarot. Yeah, you're coming out of your coffin, you're waking up. The angel's song. The angel that we see above you in the Lover's card as well, she's sort of beguiled you enough that you are going for it. Parts of you are waking up again that are kind of going, oh yeah, that's what it was about. It's like a kind of beautiful revelation. I like that it's from sound. I was thinking about listening to the stars. I heard someone talk about how the Kalahari tribesmen told Lawrence Van der Post once that they could hear the stars, and they were surprised that he couldn't, and slightly alarmed that he couldn't. I feel guided to read the book because we know what judgment's about, but I don't know. There might be something in it for us because I really wanted to pick it up. Number 20, Judgment. The spirit of primal fire, resurrection, rebirth, renewal, rite of passage, forgiveness, a new era dawning, final decision, awakening. So this is your final decision to take this new dawn. Purification by fire, purification through the fire of your enthusiasm. An angel plays her violin, awakening someone out of their sarcophagus. The woman has been asleep for a long time, and the light of the divine is illuminating her consciousness. The light of the divine, the light of the sun. A new era is dawning, a new realization, a new way to live her life. She's awakening from the slumber and coma of the material realm into a new world of spirit. This has brought her to an awareness that her true nature really is. It's now her choice to either go back to sleep, resuming the old pattern, or push forward towards a transfiguration of herself, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I think because we see you watering that plant with your cup of nightly love, I think you have chosen to go for it, which is amazing. What have we got here? Let's grab all the decks. We'll give you, this is such a lovely reading. What have we got here? The moon. That's lovely. I mean, why is the moon turning up? So maybe because the nines are the moons. 9 is moon energy, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, 18, 2 nines. 2 nines. So the 2 nines, the defensive 9 and the 9 of pentacles add up to a moon. I suppose we have to honour the journey that you've been on that's made you so defensive. This fight with the 5 of swords in your recent past, but also just maybe your deep wisdom that's come from really delving into the moon, into the subconscious, into the grief, the unclear elements, the things that might frighten us. I think this illustration is interesting because the dog and the fox look quite spooked, your wild and your tame side. But it's interesting also, there's two people holding hands under the crying moon. There must have been some grief here. There really must be some grief, and I think it's wanting to be expressed and shown that that's the journey that's led you to your 9 of Wands. That's the journey that leads you to this great wisdom, and it can't be discounted. You have to sort of, it's not like you have to dwell in it, but we have to, the reading wants it acknowledged. And there's this, it's interesting because there's two people, a bit like the Lover's card. There's two holding hands, two parts of yourself, or you and another that have been through a grief journey. It's maybe why it makes it hard for you to make the next steps in life, and that's what it wants to be talked about. And now we've got another 9 turning up, the 9 of Cups, but your wish fulfillment is near. This is so lovely, Virgo, and I told you the cockerels didn't normally shut up, and some people, if you can do all of this work, this 9 of Wands, this 9 of Pentacles, you are really coming to a wish fulfillment. Look at her. She's got holding all those cups. This is when you and she looks so fabulous in her outfit. Backed by the flowers, grapes on her table. She's fanning out all her opportunities, all her cups. This is a wish fulfillment. It's going to be very, very, very lucrative for you. This is a really amazing reading. Quite jealous. Let's see. We've got 2 more decks, and then I'll pull you a charm, and then we'll close it out. I'm going to knit the 2 parts together. This is from the Shining Tribe, Death. So this is rebirth. We know that because we know about the death with the sun up there, fully in the sky rather than in the Rider-Waite where it's just starting to peak up over their thing. And another 9 of rivers, another 9 of cups. Oh my goodness, that's 2 in a row. It's saying this oh, I've got shivers all over me. This rebirth is giving you the most amazing wish fulfillment. Go for it. Do not deny it. All the 9s are here asking you to take this step through that moon, that murky water of all of the emotion of the grief that you must have been through, I think, seeing that, to this amazing rebirth. And there's the butterfly on his chest, and I was looking at that caterpillar which has now disappeared but that will turn into a butterfly. And there's a rocket. It looks just like a rocket I've just seen in the Garden de Tarocchi in Tuscany recently. And so it's like, and I think that rocket in her vision, Nikki DeFal, I think she's called, was the emperor. Obviously it makes us think of other more rockety things that have happened recently, but we don't need to be put off by that. And the sun, and that image there looks just like the sun on the front of Rick Rubin's book on creativity. He's used that glyph for the sun. And this head coming out of this new consciousness coming out of the death over the top of the death's card. But it also feels like higher mind, pineal gland consciousness relating back to your inner intuition. Wow, this rebirth is going to give you so much delight. I'm tempted to look at the book on the 9 of Rivers because it's interesting. There are broken cups here with one shining cup in the middle. I'm just going to read this. I'll show you what I mean. So it's like your wish fulfillment comes from all the grief, but there's one big cup in the middle. 9 of Cups. I'm rather taken with your reading. I don't want to leave the energy of it. I should be carrying on because I want to do one more this morning, but this is just so lovely. Birds. Oh, rivers, that's what I'm looking for. Gift of rivers, speak of rivers. Rivers, moon, birds, stones. Oh, come on. Strange. The river. Oh, there we go. Rivers. 9 of Rivers. When an ocean fills with tears, the Redeemer will come. When we have healed the ocean, we will fill it with light. This is the journey you've been on. Healing, acceptance of responsibility, rebuilding after loss, action to help others, social awareness, concern to ease suffering without worry about what the end result will be. You know, you're coming out of your grief period, and I think going back into your community now, where you will be able to offer your healing. The idea of a perfect vessel to hold divine light may remind some people of the Christian myth from several centuries before Luria's time, that of the Holy Grail. And that's where you end up offering your Holy Grail. So a vessel filled with divine light. I think you are filling up with the sun, this light. Oh, it's so lovely. There's a healing and a responsibility in rebuilding. So if this altercation was with your community or aimed at your community, you're able to extend that to them as well. Wow. Really, really amazing. Right, one more from the Enchanted Forest deck. Oh, now it wants to give us 3. What have we got? The White Stag, this mythical, the wide world, 4 of Visions, and the Ace of Visions. Now, is the Ace of Visions the Ace of Cups? Let's just double check in the book, because we've got another ace. Then we've got the 4 Cups. Yeah, I think it's a new love. I think the Ace of Visions is actually the Ace of Visions, serenity, compassion, spirituality, kindness, a new way of seeing, a gift of love, the water element. So to go with your, I love it, to go with your Ace of Pentacles, we've now got the Ace of Cups. Again, the Grail Cup turning up, this idea of giving your love, of pouring your water, your action, nurturing this new seed with your love. So it's very beautiful, and seeing yourself as the beautiful swan that you are, realizing exactly how beautiful you are. So I think it's going to really transform your vision of yourself, and we can see here how resplendent you are with the High Priestess and the Nine of Pentacles particularly. And then the Four of Visions, which is the Four of Cups, where you're not sure if you want to take an opportunity or not. But look, the stag is beckoning. Oh my God, we've even had the stag. This is such a magical reading. We even had the stag that called just as the video went off and it got full, and we heard him a little bit in the background, but I heard him very loudly here. The stag is calling you. There is this kind of mythical completion of you in the center of your world, everything being beautiful, and he's a white stag. And he leads you on this beautiful journey. He's very mythical and lucky. And you're not quite sure, saying you haven't been quite sure because the Four of Cups refuses the extra cup. There's an ennui, a sense of, oh, I don't know. Do I take my new cup? I don't know. But we know you do. We know you do, actually. So you move through that phase and you go and you follow the stag. Where is he going to lead you? I don't want to read the book because we're going so long, but I know that it's going to be somewhere absolutely beautiful. And here's your little, oh, your little charm. It's a mushroom. Great mycelium growing from the depths of loss and the underworld, the moon underworld, the feeling of things coming up from the depths, and also communicating across great networks under the land. So community, again, we're being brought into mind. There is, where are you going? You're going to something that connects you to your community, that gives you great wisdom. You know, it's a toadstool. It would give you a bit of a kind of, you know, magic mushroom ability to see everything clearly through those High Priestess eyes of yours, and then bring that to your community. This is amazing. What a great reading. I hope lots of people see this, or maybe it's just one. There's one magpie flew past me. Maybe it's just one person I'm talking to, and I hope you take this message on, because there is a beautiful journey of healing going on. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed being in this energy so much, and I didn't want it to stop. See you again.